Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage and the Mercedes S123. Thank you for all the comments on the previous video about what to do about the really filthy gearbox that is at the moment only able to go into first and second gear and get stuck in second gear. Pretty much all of you said the same as I was thinking, that it really couldn't hurt to try to change the filters and the oil, even though it is a bit of a gamble and I will lose the money for the oil and filter if it doesn't work. But there is so much to win if I can revive this gearbox, at least make it work through the winter while I find a replacement or a rebuild kit that I can use on this. So that is for sure what I'm going to try. I have tried to find a replacement gearbox or transmission. That is not easy. So I have decided, like you guys, that I'm going to try to change the fluid and the filter and clean as much out as I can. I am, although, not going to flush the system because it's debatable whether that's a good idea, but some say it could clog the system up a little bit more. I don't really know if that makes sense, but what I think I'm going to do is the gentlest of gentle way to do it, because I really don't want to dislodge a lot of crap, because if that goes into those valves inside the brain of the transmission, then I could be in trouble. I think there is a lot of crap in there already, but what I'm going to do is to change the fluid that I have taken out of the gearbox. I'm going to drain the torque converter also. Then I'm going to fill in new fluid. And if it runs better and okay, then I'm going to drive it for a bit, and then I'm going to change the fluid again in a couple of 1,000 kilometers maybe. And I think I will do that a couple of times down the line actually. Right in there is the torque converter. You can maybe see that there are no drain plug in there, and that's because it is in the wrong position at the moment. So I'm going to spin the engine over on the crankshaft pulley until I can see that drain bolt. Can you tell me when it's visible? There we go! More oil is coming out of the gearbox when I turn the engine, by the way. Maybe that's good to turn it a couple of times. I am trying to catch as much of the gearbox oil as possible when it drains out, because then I can calculate or measure how much came out and put roughly the same amount in. That way I should be pretty close to the right amount, because I did check that beforehand. And it can be really difficult to get the right amount into one of these. It's running pretty slowly. Let's go ahead and clean that pan meanwhile. The old gasket doesn't feel that old, I'd say. Unfortunately, I have to wash this liquid off of it with water. At least the solution says that on the package, which is annoying, because yeah, it would just be easier if it didn't have to do that, if that was not necessary. After a good clean in the part washer, then in the sink with hot water, then with brake clean, and then with the compressed air, it is now very, in my opinion, clean inside of here. Because we really don't want crap inside of this gear. Well, there's already full of crap, so it won't make a big difference. But it's ready now. Like that. And also quite a lot of oil came out of that torque converter. A lot, actually. So that's nice. I think this takes between 6 and 8 liters I'm unsure. I read different things on the internet, but one thing is for certain, you will never really get everything out because there is so many small crevasses in there, and there is the oil cooler and the lines and all that, which are leaking, by the way. Problem for another day. As mentioned, I want to measure how much I got out of this and then fill roughly the same in, because I did check the fluid level before I started this and it seems to be correct. It would make sense if I put the same in as I took out, that it would be correct again. And of course the measurement will be roughly when I do it like this. But I just want a rough baseline. So these are 5 liters cans, and this is there, and this is slightly above what's normally full. So I'd say this is 6 liters that we got out of the transmission. So maybe 2 liters is still in there somewhere. Maybe we can get some of that out in the next oil shift. And now let's go ahead and install a new clean filter. And the now clean oil pan, making sure that the gasket goes on correctly. So let's not forget to fit the drain plug and the torque converter. So now I'm going to fill in 6 liters of transmission fluid, Dextron 2 ATF fluid, and then I'm just going to try to see if it works. Oh, I really hope so, because as mentioned a couple of times, this car got so much stuff that needs to be fixed. If the gearbox is also one of them, it's going to be a bit much. I still need to do the compression test on the engine to make sure that that is all right, but it is running pretty nicely, so I'm not that concerned. On the other hand, the other 123 I had in a while back was running really nice and really strong and turned out to have compression issues. So we'll just have to see. Anyway, no matter how that compression test turns out, it is running good enough to be my winter car. So that will be fine. It's just all the other stuff that needs to be fixed. Enough about that. Transmission fluid. I'm just going to check underneath just to be sure that I haven't forgotten something. Phew! Looks fine. So all there is left to do now is to take it for a ride and see if it works, but I am going to do that now because I can't wait. But I'll have to wait until the morning to show you guys, because if I take a camera in the car right now, it will just be completely pitch dark. So see you tomorrow, hopefully with a happy face or with a sad face. So it's the day after, and I know what the result is. So this is my poker face, because I don't want to ruin the surprise. First gear. That was second gear. It starts in second gear unless you put it down in S. And as you can maybe hear, it's staying there. And I'm not gonna rev it more than this because it's cold. I'm doing 40 kilometers per hour or thereabout in what I would call second gear. If I come to a stop, like this and put it down in S, it should engage first gear. And you will, I don't know if you can hear it, but now it's accelerating slowly. And changing out of first, flaring and slipping like crazy, accelerating a little bit, cuts into gear, goes back into flaring, slipping. Yeah. It did not work at all, unfortunately, and it's not a big surprise, but it's still a shame. You can hear it now. I'm actually unsure whether this is second gear or third gear that is just slipping away. If I pull the throttle, you will maybe hear the revs increase, but no acceleration. If I keep the throttle pinned to the floor, it will try to shift in a massive shunt, but nope. I don't know much about automatic transmissions, but I'm pretty sure that something is just worn out and slipping. There gotta be some clutch plates or some friction plates or something like that that is not working. It could also be one of the valves in the valve body that is not working. I did go for a rather long test drive yesterday to maybe, I had a little hope that maybe it would come dislodged when it heats up and all that, but nope. Take a look at this. I'm putting it into reverse now. Okay, it took a couple of seconds, I think. That's an indication on how worn a transmission is, and I don't think it's slow to get into reverse, but maybe it is actually. But it did not work at all, so I need a rebuild. I need to rebuild this one. That's one solution. Or a better solution would be, right now at least, to get another transmission. But I've looked at the trees and they are not appearing to be hanging in them. So I think they can be quite difficult to get a hold of. So far I haven't even found any to attempt to buy, and so I just don't know. Yeah. I gotta say that the plans for using this as a winter driver is hanging by a very thin thread right now, because there is other stuff that I also need to fix on this. It's not only the gearbox, it's also the bodywork and the interior and all that. It's not impossible to get it ready. It is. The engine seems to be running pretty nicely, but still, the gearbox is a problem. Anyway, I tried. I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night if I didn't try. So I wasted some gearbox ATF oil and a filter. Some say that I could drain that and use it for another application, but I'm not going to do that. There will be too much crap in that. So I need to see if I can find another transmission. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.